minute. You're on.
Let's see who shows up. I'm still playing with the features. I'm sorry, guys. I guarantee that wasn't great. And I'm not 100% sure why the camera is not as clear as Jared's is. I don't know if he's paying extra, but mine won't let me do anything other than 720p. I may have to actually get an external plug-in camera so I can put it up. Hey, what's up, guys? Look at that. Yay, another late night live stream. So I don't know how clear this is for you guys. The camera resolution on this laptop is not. Hey, Jared sent you. Cool. So I'm gonna wait. I know that a couple people are like, I gotta hear the bullfrog story. Guarantee that's why some of you are here. But I want to wait till more people get here. What's up, Mark? As you can tell, I'm your guest, Dorkle McDingleberry. I'm glad you could join me. I had some bullfrog. I'm going to tell the bullfrog story, but I'm going to wait till some people get here because I know that Jared's still finishing up. He wasn't wrong. I did have an entire bucket, and I was not alone. I had an entire bucket of bullfrogs, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to thank, I hope he shows up, Beardo the Weirdo, one of the paying members. I would definitely want to thank him for sending this along so that we could review it. I know the lighting's bad, but I can't light it from behind. So still haven't heard from Nick. I know that he wanted to get one, and I know you wanted to sell a couple. There's no reason for a knife that big to be that smooth. I thought this could be dangerous from time to time. That is a hazardous piece. Let me see. Is that lighting better? Is it less reflective? Let's see. I don't think it really matters. Let me play with the color. ADVs look so good, poor lighting. I'm going to try and change the color index on this and see. Does that help? Is that a little bit more natural lighting? Does that look a little more natural than, let's try. There's one more setting on this thing. I don't have the best of, oh, now it looks like I'm in hell. There we go. I think that's about the best right there. Don't you guys think that's the most natural? Got the John Rambo shirt going. What's up, Russ? Jeremiah was bullfrog. My God, threw him off an overpass. Let's see. I'll wait till we get 17. I want to see if Jared shows up. If Jared shows up, if you're here, Jared, let me know because it sounded like you wanted to hear this. This is one that we have to have. Is Jared here? I don't see. Let me know if you're here, Jared. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Now I got to find that one and deselect it. There we go. So as you guys can see, we got all this stuff. Evil E. I have a little bit of the Skull whiskey today. Ribbit. I hope Jared comes over because I can always tell him this story. I talk to him pretty regular. I was on the phone with him. Was it earlier today? I was on the phone with him, I think, earlier today for like about an hour. I talk to Jared about every day. Now, I don't want you guys to think I drink every day. I mean, I do drink every day. I just want you guys to think that. Oh. I actually, that was a point of contention. If you guys remember a while back, I was friends with, I still am friends with Birdshot. I still send him things, but I had kind of went off the rails with the drinking for a while and people noticed and I got called out and he just really was, Jared's here. Okay, we'll start the story. But in all honesty, I kind of went off the rails with the drinking a little bit. I don't drink very much during the week. I might have a couple, but he was right. There was a lot of substance abuse. I didn't do drugs, but I was definitely drinking a lot and things like that. So Lindy's here. So definitely now I got to start the story. So I don't know if I've told you guys this. My dad was a cop. He was a county sheriff. I lived outside of town. I lived outside of this. I mean, the biggest town we had was like 10,000 people, county seat. And so we had all this stuff. Those poor frogs. And so the county sheriff basically was the only law enforcement, and all the other law enforcement agencies fell under the county sheriff's department, which is technically the way it's supposed to work if you look at constitutional law. So there were little police departments like West Lafayette and some of these other areas. They had a constabulary, but they were deputized. They were deputies as well. So they were deputized, but they were also police officers for these small little towns. West Lafayette had 2 cops, 2. One day, one night. They worked 12-hour shifts. A lot of times they were at home and they just get calls. Dispatch was from the sheriff's department, and so they just had their radios on them. Just your typical Mayberry kind of thing. I lived about 8 miles outside of this bustling metropolis that had 2 cops. My dad lived there. And so I had went into West Lafayette, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine at his house. And we were hanging out, and we were like, okay, after your parents go to sleep, and his name was Scott Bible, and his dad Ron went to bed. And this is on a Friday night. And we're like, we're gonna go out. We're just gonna tear around town and do shit. So we took the bikes. I had my bicycle out there. My dad took it out. You know, I was spending the night. So we took my bicycle out. I was young. I don't think I was even in high school yet. I was in junior high. And the way it works is there's 3 schools. They combined them to make one junior high and high school. I still only graduated with like 68 people. Small town. But at any rate, me and Scott Bible and Travis Shoemaker, a couple other guys, I think, if I remember right, we all went out that night and we tore around town. We hung out. We got the idea that we were going back to Scott's house, and we got these big buckets. Now it was spring, and so frogs come out in spring, and they get cold at night. They get real sluggish, and they're easy to pick up. Well, there's all these ditches and things around. Like I said, real country area. And we got buckets of these bullfrogs, and filled these buckets with these bullfrogs. Like 2 big 5-gallon buckets had as many bullfrogs as we could get in it. And there's this old closed overpass bridge that goes over what was called the old road. It was the new road. The new road, or old road. So it was the old road, the old highway that went into town, and then they had built a new road which was further out on the other side of the river. And so this old road didn't have as much traffic, but in nighttime it got some traffic because people would go to and from home that way, because a lot of times it was quicker to just cut that way into West Lafayette than take the new road down and have to go all the way out and around and towards Newcomers Town and stuff. I know you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but it actually made sense. And so we got up on this closed bridge, which was like an overpass over the old road, the old highway. And we started dropping these bullfrogs onto the road. And we're dropping these bullfrogs onto the road, and we're hitting cars with them, and we were laughing, and we didn't, we're like, I was even 16, I was like 14 or 15. Didn't even think about how dangerous it was. And so here we are up on this bridge, and one end of it's completely closed off with a fence, and the other one's open with just some car barriers. And the cops pull up, and here we are on this bridge. We've got no option, and here they come. And so one of the town cops sees me, and he goes, "You're Barney's boy." And I was like, yeah, that's my dad, Bill Emler's my dad. And he goes, "Yep, you're Barney's boy." He's like, "All right." He's like, "All right, where you live?" And he takes Travis home. He's, "Where you live?" He takes Sean home. He's the other kid, I think may have been Brandon. He's like, "I know where do you live?" He takes him home, and he's got me. And I was like, "Well, I live down in Fresno." He goes, No, you're going down to the county jail. So we're taking you down to the county jail. I was like, "But you dropped all the other boys off at their house." And he goes, "Yeah, but I don't know their fathers, but I know your dad." And I'm like, "You dirty, sorry sack." And so my dad had just got off work, had got all the way home, got home, laid down, and he gets a call and has to drive all the way back. It's 30 some miles, has to drive all the way back to the sheriff's department where he works. And there I am sitting there, I'm handcuffed, walked in, and you know that your father is mad when he walks in and he looks at you, and they tell him what happened. He looked at me. Fresno, Ohio, out near West Lafayette, Fresno, Ohio, not Fresno, California. He walks in, they tell him a story, and I could just see, like, it looked like it hurt. he comes out and he looks at me and he goes, he couldn't even say anything. And I was like, oh no. And he just looked at me and goes, I should have eaten you while your bones were still soft. Go get in the fucking car. That's all he said to me. Didn't say another word the entire way home. And he'd just look at me and he'd look over. He's like, I'm in the passenger seat of his truck. He'd turn and look at me. He's like, oh, and just keep, I was like, oh no, this is so bad. But he did beat me with his duty belt one time, and it's because I fired a 45-70 across the roof of his car, and I burned up the. That's a story for a different day. But he did beat me viciously with a sheriff's department big wide leather. There's leather weave belts. He beat me with that until he was sweaty and tired. And I was actually worried that he was having a heart attack. It quit hurting after the first few. It just got hot. My butt was warm. That was it. Yes. I definitely remember that. So what's everybody doing? This was just, I wanted to waste some time. I had the StreamYard. I figured we'd set it up and see what everybody was doing. Frog legs are delicious. Fried frog legs are delicious. So if Eric, if you wind up being out here, Eric, Medina won the flashlight on a giveaway earlier today, and Eric, my hidden subscriber, he's listed his channel. I can't remember. Eric Mora won the handmade Kiradashi. So it was those poor frogs though. Frogs pretty resilient. Be surprised. Most of those frogs made it. Now the one that really got the attention and probably got the call was the one that like landed on the car and splattered, and I see the car go. I'm like, shit, and that's probably the person that wound up going home and calling the sheriff and police. This was 1990. No, it was earlier than that. I graduated in 91, so this has been in the 80s, 1980 something. Yeah, I'm old. One took a while to get out of paint. Yeah, it would have taken. Yeah, I bet cleaning that car was a mess. So Jared, I appreciate you helping me out figuring out the. Do you have the belt as a reminder? I do believe somewhere, because my dad passed away. I do have his duty belt somewhere. Yeah, we were playing a much more aggressive game of Frogger. That's what we were hoping for. Like, we were praying for a convertible. We're like, let a convertible. But where I live, nobody had convertibles. A convertible is not a real useful vehicle. They were all like pickup trucks. Like I said, I live in the town that I actually live in, Fresno, Ohio. I think last census, like 300 people. And that's the entire township. That's not, town is like maybe 40 people. It was one of those towns where if you fucked up at the end of the street at a friend's house, you got your ass beat all the way up your house. Like you get your butt beat. And she's like, now you go see Miss Mary and you tell her what you did. And you just basically did beat. By the time you got home, you'd already been beat for like 8 houses. By the time you made it home from whatever you did. But that's what I was referring to. Convertibles, that would have been great. We were praying for a convertible. Big, small town, big frogs. Yep. We did hit the roofs of cars. We were trying. We only got one where we were aiming. We were trying, like, you got to time it pretty good. Found a knife for 80 CR. I don't want to do the type in, but whatever. I can bring up the things like Jared does. But I actually had intended to do a live feed tonight. We were going to look at. Yeah, there you go, Jared. Small town, big frogs. I wanted to do a live feed where we were talking about discontinued cold steel knives, and I was going to post up the pictures. Unfortunately, the place where I would go, Cold Steel, now that it's owned by GSM or GMS or whatever it is, they don't have. They used to have the entire catalog of all their discontinued knives, and they don't anymore. And it really is frustrating because, like, I wanted to pull up like pictures. I mean, I'm sure I could find pictures of them if I can remember the names, and if I had the Cold Steel catalogs that I had, but I don't anymore. I don't have those. But I was talking with somebody and they said that Lynn Thompson started a new company and it's called Never Unarmed or Always Armed or something like that. And I told him, I was like, I haven't heard about it. And I went and looked and it's exactly what I thought because I looked at it online real quick. Yeah, but see, like the pictures that I like, the catalog, they had like images and all that stuff on their page. But yeah, I want to come back as a girl's bicycle seat. The problem is that they don't have it anymore. And somebody was telling me like, oh, well, Cold Steel is this, but now like, I think Lynn Thompson started his own company and he really didn't. What he did was GSM was like, all right, this is all the crap that no one wants. You can have that. It's like, and I said it in the video. I was like, it's like somebody took a Lynn Thompson's special projects catalog and just opened it up to the last knife and then tore that part off and was like, here, you can have these. So it's all the spears, the blowguns. So it's basically the back half of the Lynn Thompson special projects catalogs. So it's the swords, the ballies, which like they keep saying, like, oh, there's so many ballies. I was like, they made one bally. They made one and I have it. It's an Archangel. It's really rare. I think they redid it though. And I'm kind of stoked about that because I may get one. Colossus. I don't think I know what one that is. I don't think I've ever seen one. But no, the whole thing was like all these, all those ones that were these weird over the top things. That's what Lynn Thompson's doing now. And everybody was like, well, his autos. I was like, I don't ever remember him doing autos. Now, if you guys could tell me that there was an auto, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Let me see if I can get this light adjusted. It's not doing what I want it to do. That's what happens when you film in a garage. If I turn those lights, so it's backwards. Pound the like button. Yeah, I can't see how many likes there are. Have you guys, Lindy, have you been seeing Lindy, have you noticed that I have been doing Shopcat Chronicles? Where is Shopcat? I think he's still eating. I've been doing Shopcat Chronicles. Just because. Then there's this. Every time I look at it, I'm like, I want to film a video about that. And then I pick it up. I'm like, never mind. I'm going to film a video about that. Never mind. That's where the likes are. They're in here. If I don't. There's Shopcat. Come here, buddy. Here you go. Come here, bud. I'll give you guys some Shopcat action. Come here, buddy. Oh, you're such a heavy boy. There you are, Shopcat. He's so sweet. Why? Oh, you smell like popcorn. Where you been? You been in the trash somewhere? Wait, you want down? Okay, cool. All right. Just stay off my love seat. I have a couch out here now. He just keeps wanting to stop making fun of mine. I'm not making fun of it. I just don't like. Aiden's always good for a super chat when he sees. I don't know, Aiden. You must be a cat lover. I've got like 4 of them out here. Like you want me, next time we do a live feed, I'll do it on my phone. I'll just go out in the backyard and I'll show you all of them. Oh, where's my thing? Here we go. Oh, I found one that's better. I just got to be careful with it. Can't do this with a ZT. Oh wait, no, that's. Do that with ZT, you go get stitches. Oops, poopsie. I said that out loud. That is the sweetest cat. Some people are gonna be like, I don't get it. And a bunch of knife guys are like, oh, he said it out loud. I think he wants to go in and see the dog. Hang on, so let me open the door for him. You want to go in, bud? You go in, get some water. There you go. Pan's got all those things, those stickers in her fur. Lock failure. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, no. You can go in, bud. I don't mind. Go ahead. Sorry. Dorkle McDorkelson is not real great at this. Thank you again, Aiden. That is awesome. I wish I can't like, can I, there we go. Show. There we go. Aiden, Shop Nako. My wife's Japanese, so I get the humor of the. Calico. There is a Calico, and he hangs out over on the other side of the street, but I feed him as well. So all these cats are fixed. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about kittens, but there's a couple small ones. But they've all the guy that owned this house. He got all those cats fixed. He loved the cats. He can't take them with him because they're not his. They're actually neighbors, but neighbors don't do anything for him. So most of these cats reside either in my yard, right outside my garage, or with this one. If I sit down on a chair, he seems to think he has to be in my lap constantly. That cat is always climbing up in my lap. So I definitely recommend these. God damn it. I wish I can't. There we go. The skull shot glass, if you can find one. I don't know where this came from. This was a gift from a subscriber. It came in and I use it regularly because it just looks badass. I went to a bar. One of the last. I don't go out very often. I've been married for like 19 years. I don't go out that often. Boys' night out. Everybody's like, "Oh, you don't do boys' night out?" I was like, "I married my wife because I love her. I don't want to be. Why would I want to go have boys' night out?" I was like, "Can I bring my wife?" Like, "Oh, it's boys' night." I'm like, "And I ain't going." But I got talked into going with some friends from work, and so we go to this bar, and I'm the first person who shows up, and I sit down. And I drink. I can drink a lot. I can put back some, especially whiskey. I'm sitting there, and little girl at the bar was like, "What can I get you?" And I was like, "I get 3 fingers of whiskey in a glass." Neat. She said, "What kind of whiskey?" And I was like, "Jameson's, any Irish whiskey you got." I was like, "If you don't have any Irish whiskey, I'll take some Jack Daniels." And she goes, "You want me to put anything in it? You want me to mix it with anything?" I was like, "Well, if there's some whiskey left in the bottle, you could always mix it with some more whiskey." And she was like, "Oh, I think you and I are gonna get along just fine." And so I sat there and I drank all night, and everybody that was with me was shit house. And I'm like, "All right, I got to get everybody in taxis, and I got to call my buddy to pick him up." And she looked at me and she's like, she's like, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that I watched you drink almost an entire bottle of whiskey." And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just trying to get everybody wrangled up so they don't get in trouble and put them all in cars. These guys work for me, and I got to make sure they show up on Monday. I don't want to have to go bail them out." And she was like, "You have drank more." She's like, "You were drinking beer too." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You drank more than anyone I've ever seen in my life and still been this sober." And I was like, "I'm Irish." Where it comes from. Speaking of skull, it is I think it's overrated. You're paying for the novelty of it. My wife is cooking. I will tell you, I had something last night for supper that was amazing. If you have an air fryer, I 100% recommend putting a little oil, salt and pepper, and garlic on salmon, and just put it on a piece of tinfoil and put it in the air fryer for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. It was amazing. Nice crispy outside. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't like dried out with just white rice. It was delicious. That's what I had for supper last night. But like I said, my wife's Japanese, so I have a lot of things like that. You actually just got an air fryer. I exactly do it. Oh, I missed. I haven't been seeing, like, I just got a bunch. I'm sorry, guys, if I haven't responded to things. I had a big, like, I didn't get comments, and all of a sudden there was like a bunch of them. So the last one I had seen was Shop Cat Isn't Lazy. And then, do you know where they got it? No idea. Crystal. Yeah. And then I got the crystal skull, and then I realized there was a whole bunch. Mikey would say, let's get the likes up. Well, I can't see how many likes there are, so I really don't. But I will tell you, if you guys want to see something funny, one time when my wife was in Japan, I lost a bet, and I sent Jared the picture. I got bet that I made a bet, and the bet was I had to shave off my beard but keep the mustache, but I couldn't trim it. I had this massive, like, Sam Elliott, Tombstone, Wyatt Earp, Virgil Earp mustache that completely covered my entire mouth with no beard. And he was like, can't even trim it. And you have to bring me the beard in a shoebox. So I went to his house the next day with this. Yeah, you saw it, right? With this massive mustache, no beard, with my beard, which was almost like this. It was about like this. At the time I was doing counter surveillance, so I would change my appearance pretty regular. So I would trim it, or I'd cut it down to a goatee, or I'd let it get really long like this. And this guy's kids come to the door and they see me and they're like, Uncle Mike? And I was like, yeah, it's me. And he goes, Dad, Mike's here. To this day, when I go over to his house, this dude's kids, these little cocksuckers, I come to the door and I ring the doorbell and look at me and grin and they walk, Dad, the Lorax is here. And I'm like, I hate your kids. I hate them. They're little assholes. It was no lips. Also, I could pull my mustache and straighten it out. Like even now, it's pretty long. I could straighten my mustache out and it was clear down here. Like you couldn't see my lips. I couldn't whistle. It was horrible. It was repugnant. But Monster Racing, how's that GoFundMe going? If you can, you try and drop a comment. Can you try and drop a link to your GoFundMe in here? We'll try it again. If you can, I will highlight it so that everybody can follow it. Monster Racing is doing a GoFundMe. He's a single father trying to do stuff. I donated. You do not have to enter me into the giveaway. Save that for someone else. I just did it because you guys several times have donated to GoFundMes I've done to help out with my daughter's skating, to help out with things with the channel and things like that. So it's only fair now that things are. Yeah, I posted in the comments section, in the community section of my channel. So if you can, go find his GoFundMe. If you can't post it up here, go find. I think it's on Instagram. Go find it. Just that's one of those things. Like enough people have supported me and donated money to the channel and done things for me that it's only fair that I put it out there. And so I couldn't give a lot, but I gave as much as I could. So if you guys want to, go follow that. It's for a good cause. It's just a guy that wants to be able to enjoy time with his son, with his children. So yeah, Nathan, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. I wish I could get the lighting the way I want it. Like it keeps auto adjusting. Let me see. Maybe if you guys hang out a second, I'm gonna turn those lights on. We'll see if they're too bright. I'll turn them back off, but we'll definitely see if maybe that helps because it is a little bit dark. Let me see. Are those too repugnantly bright? I think they do help, though. I think that's definitely better. What do you guys think? Even though it's wrong way, Mike. Its camera is backwards. There we go. We'll just relocate a little bit. How's that? What was that? There you go. So Monster Racing, is that your Instagram handle as well? Monster Racing 38. Hey, there's some whiskey left. I found a piece of a bottle. That's way better, isn't it? It's more consistent lighting. It doesn't look like we're in a dungeon. No, we're just in a garage. I've had a lot of people tell me, buy cat. I've had a lot of people tell me, they're like, oh, you could do all these things and it would enhance your channel and, you could do some backgrounds and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put all that into it. I would much rather take the money that comes into the channel and find things that are beneficial to the channel instead of just like things. I mean, even I tried a green screen and I didn't like it. So what you guys see, I don't know if I've showed you guys, but up here on my wall behind me, well, in front of me actually, is a 65-inch TV that my daughter and I use for movie night. And I have a love seat. This is a love seat in my garage and chairs and a coffee table. And I use this a lot like a living room. And so why not put the TV on the wall? And so the fact is that I can use that as a backdrop, and that's so much easier than trying to do green screen. Green screen never comes out. Like even Jared's is a lot more refined than mine, but I would rather have it just be, I'd much rather it be like a bunch of guys just hanging. I'm sorry, Lindy, a bunch of people, guys and gals hanging out in the garage, talking about knives than have it be like this finished thing with all kinds of, I was going to get I had these big ideas that I was going to film it different, and it was going to be on that wall, and it was going to be a set of shelves, and the camera was going to be facing, this would be on the shelf, and I'd have all this shelf full of stuff. But the fact is that this is how this channel should feel. It should just feel like a bunch of people just kind of hanging out, talking about knives, bullshit. Kitty left. Jojo, I joke about this. I to the point where, like, I don't know if you've noticed, I have put a lot of work into refurbishing this knife. If you remember, there were some big chips in this. I'm not looking at gift horse in the mouth. This was an incredibly kind gift. These are crazy rare. They were not something that was up for sale originally. The second gen or third gen were, but this is, I was looking at it. This is a first gen, which were, these were sent out to be put in a display, and they were displayed like this in a rack above the 25th anniversary edition of Blade magazine. And then the Spyderco knives were stacked on a shelf below them. This was part of a display case. Now, Eric designed this knife, and it's not horrible, which kind of surprises me considering how hard he is trying so desperately to ruin his father's company. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. You know what? I shouldn't say that at all, because, I mean, Spyderco did earn their right to do however they want with their business. But the fact is, I just feel as though that their business isn't going the right direction. I just don't see the quality for the price. Oh, wait, that's not the one I was looking for. I clicked on the wrong one. It scrolled up. There we go. That's the one I was trying to say. Live streams for that. I love live streams. It's such a fun environment. And with my live streams, there is absolutely no agenda. I have no plan whatsoever. I just am like, well, guess what? I got back from the gym. I came home this morning. I was like, well, I'm back from the gym. Still live feed. My daughter was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do the live feed about? No. Just, it'll happen as it happens. Organically. Just happen. It'll just happen. Now I can't find, there we go. And I intend to, if you guys can see the Dorkel, God damn it with this reverse thing, the Dorkel McDorkel something, I'm going to try and keep that. Oh, there's just I was telling somebody, Lindy, I was telling somebody the other day that the last time I talked with like Spyderco fanboy, he's like, oh, I've got a collection of knives. And the guy was like, yeah, I've got a bunch of different ones. He's like, I got like 8 PM2s, and they're in 4 different colors and 3 different steels. I'm like, that's not a knife collection. That's a Pokemon collection. Collect them all. Like, I can't say anything different about some of my friends that are the Spyderco fan, or not Spyderco. The that's what I was talking about. The Fair and Forge guys. I have friends. My buddy Luke Albert, that weird French Canadian. That dude has like 8 of the same knife, and I don't mean like different. I don't mean like different versions of the same knife. I mean they are identical. And I'm like, why didn't you just buy a bunch of other Fair and Forge knives? I've got like 8 of them. I love my Fair and Forge knives. I should get one. I feel as though I haven't given them any love lately. We'll grab one of the most important ones to me. My Fortis, my Fair and Forge Fortis that I did some black accents on. So, is the kitty cat still in the garage, in the house? What? Is the cat still in the house? Sorry, family stuff. All right.
I don't know where it would have gone. Oh, it's right there.
No, it's not.
Literally right there.
Where?
Look behind the crates.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
He's hiding.
And see the cat. So, yeah, I mean, but he has like so many different versions of that one. And I'm like, why? I would have rather had like some of the other ones that I don't get. Steals. I don't steal stuff. I'm not a thief. This thing is freakishly sharp. I will tell you something, and Lindy, you may want to think about some steels. Steels. Jojo. I'm just kidding. I stole nothing. It belonged to me. It is that's a good one. There are times where steels like this 20 CV, you know how we talk about things that work harden. If you take because this knife got tumbled for like at that weird finish that's on that, which is like a 3D. I wish it was coming through. I'll post up some pictures of it sooner or later. It looks like you can still see like the crystal structure of the steel, and you can still see a stonewash, but this got tumbled in a container with these sapphire balls. Sorry, for like a week. And the things that I've noticed is when you tumble something over a long period of time to get like a specific stonewash or things like that, it actually changes the edge that steel will take. It work hardens it. It actually is a different. And Elliot's like, you're right, because the way they tumble things is in a rotary tumble. It's not a vibratory tumble. And so you get is that knife is slamming into the ceramic balls and the ceramic triangles or the ceramic beads. And so what happens is it's work hardening that pre-ground steel. And then when you sharpen it, this definitely takes a different edge than any of my other Ferrum Forge knives in that same steel. It is a definite different edge. And I've noticed that a few times when I'll be refinishing a knife and doing a stonewash in like a rock tumbler. You get a different end result on that edge after you resharpen it than you did before. It just feels different. It's more aggressive at a higher grit because this is a 10,000 grit edge, and that is terrifyingly aggressive. Like Jared was talking about fish hooks. Jared, if you're still here, when he was talking about the fish, it feels like a bunch of fish hooks. That's exactly what that feels like. It feels like I've got my fingers in a can of fish hooks. Yes, it's the vibratory tumble does. There you go. I don't like the vibratory tumble. The rotary, like the rock tumblers, so much better. But the problem that I have is you can't find one that would fit something like this, the fixed blades that I make. Like this fixed blade that I make, the custom version of this, you can't do it. You have to get, so Lindy, you have to just get the actual, don't get the Harbor Freight ones. You have to pony up the dough for those $400 ones. Chris and Elliot have some that, hey, Justin, this is the guy that owns Fiberlight Firestarter and Ember Shirt Co. And as you can see, Justin, I have stepped up my live feed game. So, and you keep calling me Mike. I'm Dorkel McDingleberry today. Next live feed, God only knows what I'm going to be. But if you guys are trying to get shirts, Justin, let me know. Are you guys still, if they use my affiliate link, are they still entering into the giveaway, or is the giveaway done? I'm not sure yet. So veteran-owned company. It's a veteran-owned, veteran-operated. Justin's a great, great dude. Justin and I, yes, absolutely. As I get ready to say, I'm going to get Justin to load the glass trombone, the glass saxophone with jazz cabbage. Yes. You're not getting away without me and David there. Okay, so we're pulling names, but still, if you go and buy one of the Ember Shirt Co. shirts, I still get paid. Speaking of which, we got to talk about that. I don't know if we ever got my PayPal and stuff figured out. Probably be a mill. Nice. I was doing some of the knife refinishing, knife modding stuff, but I was keeping my stuff basic. And the fact is, I just can't do it here at the house. I'm pretty much out of that game. I'll still do sharpening. I still will do anodizing. I just got to figure out when I can go up and use Elliot's shop. I'm still making knives. I got my 2x72 with a 10-inch and an 8-inch hollow wheel, flat platen. So I'm still going to be making knives, but I'm not going to be making as many, I don't think. And like I said, right now, I'm trying to dedicate myself to this because it seems like I'm on a path where I can make YouTube become profitable. I know that there's some other guys out there that do it. That Coyote shirt, damn good. That is my favorite of them. So I have, since I've got you here, I would like to say that I want to try and figure out a way to do the Poor Decision Mike shirt. When I did the ad for the merch store, and he was like drawing like cowboy hat, t-shirt, like shirt on, cowboy hat, tongue out of his mouth. If we can do I'll do a screen, I'll do a picture, whatever we got to do. I really want that shirt to be a thing, and then have P, and then the D backwards or the P backwards. However I said it, was like the P's backwards, by the way. Like, because Poor Decision Mike is just a big dummy. Bucket of bullfrogs. That's another one. So, you missed the bullfrogs story there, Justin. But yeah, I think that would be cool. I would like to do that. And I know that people would like it. I've had people say they like it. Send me a picture. We'll get it done. Yeah. All I have to do is put on a white. So for those of you guys that don't know, like if you've ever watched the video with me and PDM, people ask like, where did you get that Jack Daniels, that white Jack Daniels shirt with Wrangler and Jack Daniels stuff? Just in case you guys didn't know, if you want to hear another story about my life that most people don't know, I actually was an amateur. I was an amateur saddle bronc rider when I first retired from the Navy for like 2 seasons until my doctor told me I had to stop. And I was sponsored by Jack Daniels, Wrangler, and Ariat. So I have like sponsorship shirts with Jack Daniels down the sleeve and on the collar, and Wrangler. I have a shirt that is white with the buttons are the Jack Daniels logo. And it was just because I was a flash in the pan. I was this older guy that came out, and I had done rodeo when I was younger. And it was just one of those things. I was kind of flash pan. It was kind of cool. And I only did a couple seasons. I never did real well. You wouldn't even find me on rankings, but it's just one of those things. Like people are like, where'd you get that shirt? And I'll go to rodeos wearing that. So where'd you buy that shirt? And guys that have been around for a while, like, boy, he didn't buy that shirt. You don't buy shirts like that. You can't get that shirt. As a matter of fact, I have 2 pairs of custom made boots that are up here. So it's just one of those things. It's like interesting things that people do. I did mixed martial arts for a while. I took martial arts for years. And so there's all those things, like aspects of people's lives that you just don't see. And like the fun thing is when I talk about something on a YouTube video and people are like, what, really? And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And when you get to meet guys, and then I get to go to knife shows and people get to see me in person because we joke about how big I am. And then people get to meet me in person and they're like, you really are the big monster that you talk about being. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a nice guy. So just don't make me mad or I'll break your skull. All right, Jared. Jared, you take it easy, man. I appreciate everything, guys. Jared has done so much to help me out with this channel. And I've been trying to help him out. Shorts are actually a cool thing. Like I know that some people are downvoting shorts because I've been putting out some like the shop cat stuff. But I like doing the shorts because they're fun, they're easy, they're quick. And I'm not gonna joke. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had one of those shorts that I put up that got 17,000 views overnight. So, I mean, that can't hurt your channel at all. So I was telling Jared, I was like, you got to find some shorts to do. But you got to find something you can do that are shorts that are in that realm of things that people enjoy watching. I love that cat. Shop Cat Chronicles has gotten so far. There's several of them that have several thousand views at this point. And the thing is, excuse me, I had hot dogs earlier and they're coming back at me. The thing is that I enjoy shooting them. I love that cat. I love cats that have specific attitudes. I have to convince the wife. I've got to convince the wife because the cat we had before was not our cat. It was a neighbor cat. It passed away, unfortunately. And the dog loved the cat. The cat could tolerate the dog. This cat can tolerate the dog. But the cat that we had, no, it's not a marketing gimmick even. I just love the cat. And if I lay down on that love seat, that cat will be up on my chest and put his head up under my chin and just lay there. And I love it. And I want to be able to get that to where the other cat we had would come up and be like patting my leg. Like, hey man, it's time to go to bed. Is it time to go to bed? And I'm like, and I would go to bed. And what that cat wanted was me to lay down. And that cat's favorite thing was to lay down and get up in my armpit and just go to sleep. And I would watch TV and I want to get that. I want to get that cat in the house. I'm easing it into the house. You guys saw I let the cat into the house. I'm working my way that direction. I'm working my way that direction where I have the cat in the house. And then there's 4 others that just hang out. So there's one that has some sores on its neck. His name's Scuzz. There's one that has the really weird eyes. Hey, cue ball, you're going to have to go back. I'm talking about Shop Cat. You're going to have to go back to hear the bullfrog story. So there's one that really has this really weird face. It looks like a Disney cat, like somebody drew it by Disney. That one's name is Elsa. So Scuzz has the sores, and then you have Elsa, and then we have there's one that has extra toes. His name is Knuckles. It's Knuckles is cute, but he's really skittish and won't let me pet him. Well, I mean, I pet him when I feed him, but Shop Cat shirts. I don't know about that one. I don't know about the Shop Cat shirts. Who said? We'll do Shop Cat shirts. So yeah, Shop Cat shirts. I don't know how we do that, but yeah, I definitely will get the PDM, the Poor Decision Mike shirts, wearing his cowboy hat. Where is my cowboy hat? It used to sit on the boxing bag. But yeah, those are all things. I mean, if Justin's still here, I'm definitely gonna get with him about the PDM. And, I got my little neck knife. Sorry, I got my daughter's little neck knife. She won't carry it. You guys want to hear a story? So I love my daughter. I worry about her all the time. I take her places. Shop Cat shirts. Done. They're all going in my merch store. Shop Cat, PDM with the P backwards. Hey, Shop Cat. He came back. He heard me. He heard me talking about him. Hey, buddy. Oh, you are just too sweet. Just too sweet. What's up? What's up? He's a monster of a cat, though. Shop Cat. Say hi. I love this cat. Like, I really do. He even smells like popcorn. It's so soft. So soft. All right, don't tell anybody I have feelings. You guys just aren't allowed to tell anyone that I have a tender, animal loving side. Everybody has to think I'm just a complete asshole. You didn't have to do that, Aiden, but I'll give you we use fixed blade. That one looks too much like a ZT. Watch me break this thing. There's not too many of these left. I only have a couple of these. You big sap. I do. I love that cat a lot. You can hop up on that chair if you want. That chair is yours. You have your own chair in the shop. The cat has his own chair in the shop. The only bad thing about doing live feeds on my computer is I can't take my phone. If I do it on my phone, I can just like flip it around and show you guys. Laptop's a little bit harder. God, I wish these had sold better. I talked to We Knife Company about this. Sorry, I didn't give you the full credit there, Aiden. I'm still new at this. Jared's better at this. He's still not great at it, though. He's not great at it. But I talked with We Knife Company yesterday. No, today. I talked with Doris at We Knife Company, and I was like, hey, have you guys thought about doing, this is stonefish. I was like, have you guys thought about doing the stonefish and releasing it in maybe some materials that aren't as expensive and we could get the price down? And they're like, we still got half of these that we have. They paid me out for the entire run of the knives. Half of these are still on shelves. So, I mean, if you buy one of these, I don't make any more money. I already get paid for them, but it kind of just kills me that these are not. I have a shrine for Japanese cats in the living room. The Japanese Neko. I have one of those, the good luck ones. I have several of those. My wife is Japanese. What makes you think I don't have those? It just kind of kills me that these didn't do as well as I had hoped. Not because I wanted to make money. I just wanted to get this out there. This is a really viable design, especially for military guys. Combat utility. It's fit for combat, but it does all the things I would have wanted it to. Now, the Sea Snake has sold really well. Sea Snake has sold way. There's only 400 There was 400 of these made, and half of them are still on shelves. They sold 400 of these the first quarter and have done so every quarter since. So you figure they've sold way more of these than they have the stonefish, which is it's kind of sad. They are too expensive, but I mean, the whole thing is it's 20 CV, G10, titanium hardware, and 20 CV in Japan at the time was really expensive. So there was just no way to pare that price down. You don't have to. It's ground flat enough that it does not need to be a full voice. Hello, knife people. I love that dude. Aiden, have you seen the video of a virtual voice where he cuts himself real bad and then stitches himself? Like he's at the hospital. He's like, just numb me. And then there we go. And he does his own stitches. And I'm like, pussy, I don't even get numbed. I'm allergic. That's the whole thing. Virtual Voice is a good channel. There you go. So if you guys are curious what I'm talking about, go to Virtual Voice. It's a Japanese guy that does a lot of Bark River knives and stuff like that. Any news on Hobbit? So Nico, actually, they went into escrow. The reason that we haven't heard much from him is I was going to see if he wanted to do this live feed. I originally want to see if Big Brown Bear would do this, but he didn't respond back. And I was like, well, I could ask Nico, but Nico's been busy. Nico and his wife were in the same situation that I was in a while ago. And yeah, I've done that before too, trying to sharpen a knife and then your fingers are bleeding because you just wore holes in your fingers. I've done that too, Aiden. So what happened was Nico was renting a place and the landlord gave him a 60-day notice that he was trying to sell the house, but he offered the house to them first. And I'm not gonna lie, it is so much easier just to buy a house you already live in. I just could no longer afford the HOA payments. The last place I was the HOA president, I could not convince them to lower the rate. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Our HOA fees on top of my mortgage were another $420. And I'm like, no one wants to add $420 a month to their already high HOA fees or their mortgage rate. So I sold the house because it was worth more than I paid for it. So I'm keeping an eye on the time. I don't want to we'll do this as long as you guys want to. This is fun. HOAs suck. You're absolutely right. HOAs suck. Monkey spunk. Shopcat has left again. There's no HOA with this. If I could convince this guy that owns this house to sell me this house, I would be ecstatic. This place is great. Landscaping is great. The landscaper, our landscaper comes once every 2 weeks, lives right across the street from me. Like he waves at me in the morning. And he goes, don't forget, unlock the, don't lock the gate. Leave the gate unlocked. I'm like, yeah, I got you. So the landlord pays the trash and the landscaping, and I pay. I could put a 9-foot pool table in this garage, and I have a yard. You guys have seen the yard. Some of the first videos I shot here before I could get the garage the way I wanted it were in the yard. Unfortunately, filming in the yard is problematic. Sound is bad. It gets hot. My phone overheats. I can't film out there. As much as I love it, I think I like the backdrop idea that I've been doing better. I think it definitely adds more to the channel. And like I said, with the whole thing of supporting channels you love, I'm able to put up channels. Like I said it in the video I shot today. I might not be able to send them money. Like I sent Jared some money, but usually what I'll wait till Jared sends me money and I just send it back to him. That's basically how that works. So if you guys see me sending Jared money, it's because Jared sent me money. So I just send it back to him. Fair is fair. So basically, it's a net zero. He gave me a $5 live chat, super chat in my last live feed, so I just gave him one today. It's just fair is fair. And so, and a lot of times the cool thing is if you do a super chat, other people will start doing a super chat. Like if you're in a video with like, not telling you guys to do super chat, don't think that's what I'm trying to do. But like if you're on a channel you like, and no one's really dropped a super chat. If you drop one, a lot of times you'll see other people will drop them. And sometimes it's cool to do that. I've done that on a couple of channels that I follow that are not knife channels, which it's Jared and Nick Shabazz are about the only two channels that I watch religiously. And I don't even watch Nick's religiously. I usually watch Nick's if I've got a knife that I'm like, I don't know how to take this apart. McDingleberry, I need Sandvik in my life. I picked up a brazen. What's next recommendation? 14C. The riffle is great. And I honestly, I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to get a chunk of 14C so that I can make, is it in this drawer? I was going to make a couple things out of it. I'll show you what I was going to make. Thunderfoot. Oh, that's who I've got to link. Thunderfoot. I am going to try to make one of these, the Habus, in Sandvik, if I can get a piece of it. If not, I'll get something and I'll just make a few of these. This one's in 440C. Nice thin stock. Pretty good distal taper. This thing is nightmare-inducing sharp. Really good heat treat. I cryoed this one. And because my daughter liked Star Wars at the time, this is her knife. It has the Rebel logo, the Rebel Alliance logo in it. The Riffle is a good knife. I actually liked the brazen better. The Riffle definitely cut better. SD. Who's SD? I'm sorry. Cue Ball? Who's SD? I didn't like his channel. I don't know who we're talking about. Please let me know. Yeah, I want to get a hold of him. Oh, Slicey Dicey. I know Slicey Dicey, and he's always been cool with me. I haven't had any issues with him, but like to get bent out of shape about something somebody said about you in a can I do it from here? Q1 Fiend, I am gonna next time I do a live feed from another source, I'm gonna add you as a moderator if you're cool with that. I need more moderators. I get a lot of hate. I don't know if you guys remember, I did that really long live feed, and I was telling you guys that we had the issue with the stalker, and we had a guy that was threatening my daughter and stuff like that. And so those do happen from time to time. I'm gonna try and add a couple moderators that are really. Nico is, Matt is, but the fact is Nico and Tino are rarely in my live feeds. So yeah, I watched OCD's video about what happened with Slicey Dicey, and I told him, I was like, commented, and I was like, I think my comment was what was it? I think I said, my channel's just a biscuit larger than yours, but the best advice I give you is don't just ignore just stay out of the drama. And I've fallen victim to not paying attention to my stuff, paying attention to my own good advice, which has gotten me a couple times. I threw my hat in the ring with the whole dust up between Leon Ma and the Fuller Fanatic. And I still think that Leon was on the better side of that, even though people are like, well, Leon did this and Leon said that. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. I don't want to sound like a dick, but once a criminal, you've got a proven past. And I've had other people tell me that there was some shady stuff. And the big one was he released pricing structure information that he was given, that he was privy to as basically kind of like employee profile stuff. I was like, I don't think you should have done that. That'd be like me. Like, I know what the price of my knives are to make. And I know what MAP is, and I know what MSRP is. But I don't release that information. Because it would be stupid of me to let people know that this is what you pay, but this is what they cost them to make. You don't do that. That's bad business. And to do that would be silly to do that, because what company, like, he was wanting to get designs made stuff. I was like, what company is going to work with you after that? So, I mean, that's just my take on it. Like, Is he wrong? I mean, it's his right. If he was given that information, if he wants to put it out, that's fine. Once again, it's my opinion. And like I said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and sometimes they stink. Leon Ma, great designs, great knives. That's enough for me. Field duty. No, it doesn't cost them zero. It definitely does not cost them zero. And everybody seems to think, oh, your knife sold really well. You must make a lot of money. And I was like, I can't tell you what I made on the Sea Snake, but I will tell you that I probably once a quarter could buy a fairly decent knife. I mean, but here's the thing. Jared's a criminal. I'm a criminal. I've been arrested. I was a cop. I was in military police. I did counterterrorism, counter surveillance. I worked for, actually, my vehicles are still listed as federal law enforcement. I mean, who better to hire as a police officer than somebody that broke the law? If you've broken enough laws, you probably know them real well, right? But I mean, I'm not going to get into that. That's neither here nor there. It's not my place to talk about it. But I was just, when I did that video, and then I took it down, and then Red Wolf EDC was like, you shouldn't take it down, man. You say something, you stick by it. And I was like, it wasn't a matter of sticking by it or anything like that. It was the fact that it was, I wasn't helping my friend at all, Leon Ma. I wasn't helping him at all. So it was only causing more confusion and throwing more into it. It wasn't my place to step in. Leon can fight his own fights. So LOL, stop it. Stop it. Casper, you don't seem to be the friendly ghost. Have you found a production company to pick up the Habu yet? I have not. But then again, to tell you the truth, I have not been actively pursuing it real hard. I could definitely be pursuing it a little harder. But the problem is that, well, I got other stuff going on. Jevon's knife, look at that. There you go. The Sea Snake is an amazing design. I'm glad you like it. I have 3 of them. 2 of them came to me for free, and I actually purchased one. I have the all black one, which I think is still on Amazon. I have the all black one. Where is it at? It's right here. I have the all black one, and people are like, well, why'd you buy it? Why didn't you just get them sent it to you? And I was like, the thing was, I wanted to have an independent test. I didn't want to feel obligated. I used it a lot, and I was trying to see how this coating held up, and it held up pretty well. And the factory edges on these knives, for a $49, $50 knife, the factory edges on these are awesome. They really are. I did see your email, Cue Ball, and I think I responded to you. I'm pretty sure I did. Here's the thing. I would absolutely love to have you send me some knives. I just want to hold off. I want to figure out how I'm going to segregate stuff. I have 2 boxes of stuff here from Jared. I have a box of stuff from another guy. I have 3 knives from my friend Tino. There's stuff in here for sharpening, and I'm out of space for things where I can keep them segregated. So we did not steal. We borrowed a bunch of milk crates from where my wife works, and we're going to give them back. But I'm thinking in the interim, we used them for moving. I think in the interim, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the stuff that's in them that I have room for on shelves and things, and I'm going to make boxes for each individual. So these are the knives that came from this person. These are knives from this person, and things like that. And that way I can separate them, and I just have them in one place. And that way, as I'm working through them, I can just move them around and shuffle them because it's modular. So I can take knives off the bottom and put them on the top and work my way through them however I want. Just open that door when you want to walk through it. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're a paying member, so you're going to see live feeds and things like that. So we can talk about it at a later date. My neck itches really bad. You guys want to keep this going? There's 25 of us. I mean, it's only 8:30 here. I Love Knives has arrived. He has just stated, I have arrived. So apparently we're supposed to all bow down and kiss his feet. All right, cool. We'll just keep it going for a little bit. I have nothing else to do. I already ate earlier. I have an issue, and it's 100% my fault. Thumbs up, nerds. Yeah, where are we at with the likes versus how many people are here? There's 27 people. I don't know. bow down before. No, I'm not going to do that. So I did a video about this light. I love this laser sight for my SIG. And the other day, I was working on said Pew Pew, my Sig Sauer, and I was working on this workbench, which is really high. It's like above waist high for me. It's about belly button high for me. And I dropped the entire thing. It was still in a towel, but I knocked the entire thing off and it fell. And now that light, the laser no longer works. And when you touch the right, even if you breathe on it, the light comes on and I can't turn it off. So I have to send that back to Olight. And if they don't fix it, if they tell me that they can't fix it, I'm just going to tell them to keep it because I can't afford one. They're great. They're great. So right now what's on my preferred home defense Pew Pew is a regular, just a rail mounted Olight. And so it was it was on a towel, and I moved and I had the tail, like the towel caught on something and it pulled. Yeah, but I mean, I did the damage, Jeremy. I did the damage. You never drop a bong, kid. You never throw a bong, kid. How do you sight in a laser and a handgun? Well, let me explain to you. What you do is it's the best I've done, is I pick what range I want that set to, because depending on where you're at. So I figure the average distance that I'm going to need it to be accurate at in my house, because that's what I'm going to be using it for. So I figure nothing more than about 20 feet. So I pick 20 feet and I pick a spot and I put a target up on the wall and I draw a bead with the front sight, rear sight target. And I see where that laser beam is at. Because I have both eyes open, I can see if my sight picture is matching the laser. If it doesn't, 15 to 20 feet, yeah, that's about right. I adjust it with the adjustment tools, and then I set it. Now, if you're going to shoot farther distance with your Pew Pew, with your Nerf gun, then you would want to pick a point further away, because those are set at a certain distance, because the closer you get. So if you get closer, that red dot is not going to be perfectly aligned, because the barrel of your Nerf gun is actually canted versus your sights. And so you do it. I did contact them. I contacted them. They want me to send it in. But the only problem is I didn't buy that. That was provided to me by Olight as an affiliate. And I love it. I love it. It's great. It's one of the best ones. But so that's basically how you do it. I have a 5-shot 45 Nerf gun that actually fits the hip pocket of a pair of jeans quite comfortably. And I've been known to carry it like that for extended periods of time where I'm working on knives. So who's all here? Let's do a roll call. I'm seeing people. Evil E is here. Dropping a SIG is like, no, I've never had a SIG. I'll tell you what I have had go off by dropping it is a Mossberg. There was a Mossberg. There was a bunch of Mossbergs that came into the federal government for use, and they got dropped, tested, and they all failed and started firing. Not like your average Mossberg. Remington, some of the Remingtons did it too. But I've never seen that be a malfunction on a Sig Sauer. Their Nerf guns really work right. I like them. I like the Olights. People are like, oh, don't get the Olights. They catch on fire. And I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Monster Racing's here. JN's still cooking food. Yeah, but I don't have a P230 or a 320. I don't have either of those. I don't know how. I don't know how I should approach that one, to tell you the truth. Snuzz, I think I'm just going to leave it be. I think one of these days, though, down in the bottom here, you guys are going to see something that says PDM, and you're going to get an entire evening of hanging out with Poor Decision Mike. And I think that's going to be interesting. I may have to tank up for that one. I think I need a drink. Oh, Jesus. It's hot. Like I closed that door. It got hot all of a sudden. I didn't close the outside door, but there's no air. There's no air moving tonight. That's who's Dorky? Dorky McDingleberry. That's my alter ego. Smokey McPot. I watched I watched Dude, Where's My Car yesterday. And I love that. I mean, that's my wife's favorite American movie is Dude, Where's My Car? I got pizza for a Smokey McPot. Never had a good flashlight before. 1500 lumens is insane. I don't have mine on me, but I definitely have I have my Baton 3 with the charger case. That thing is nuts how bright it is. And it holds that charge forever. My daughter's in there laughing. It can't be good. I think 1200 is what the Baton 3 is when you put it on turbo. No more and then. No more and then. If you say and then one more time. Grandma's Boy is too. Grandma's Boy is one that you usually, like I like to say, you load the glass saxophone with the jazz cabbage, and then you watch Grandma's Boy or Super Troopers. Like that one could kill you. Super Troopers could be fatal if you've been into the jazz cabbage. It could be. Like, I can't breathe. There's a couple, like I have some. I watched Ghostbusters last night. I'm probably going to watch Ghostbusters 2 tonight. I started it last night, but I fell asleep. I'll finish it. But there's things that I want to do on here. Like I said, I've got 2.7. I'm thinking about doing a 2.7. I said that, and one of the guys was like, "Oh no, I'll give you a link to this." And I'm like, "How about we just use 2.7? I've already got it set up." Road Trip is another one, and Road Trip is another one I was thinking about watching. But this guy was like, it's Frank. And I like Frank, but Frank gets a little overzealous on things sometimes. As much as I love him, he kind of gets a little overzealous. And he's like, well, we do this and you could do this. And I'm like, or I could start a 2.7 party, which has an unlimited number of people and everybody can just log in and make comments. And it would be like this. It's a lot like this. And I was like, I got to look at it if I can get however many people would be in it. Usually I get like 30 people in a live feed. I did a Netflix party and a 2.7 party. I never had anyone join in except Nico and Tino. And it was fun. Listen here, meow. Let's see. I was going to say, let's just send somebody a random invitation and bring them up on it. But that's unfair. That's unfair to do to people. Get Him to the Greek. I've never seen Get Him to the Greek. Never seen it. It looked funny, but I just never got into it. I will tell you one of my favorite movies of all times. My sister as well. We've seen it hundreds of times. Dirty, Rotten Scoundrels. And anytime that my sister and I are like in a goofy mood, I will send her just a single text that goes, Oklahoma, 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 Oklahoma. And then she will immediately send back, Rupert, don't make me get the genital cuff. And if you've ever seen that movie, that's the funniest scene in any movie I've ever seen. It's hilarious. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is such a good movie. I am too. We got to put that one up. So excited about Afterlife. I never thought that they would come out with another Ghostbusters movie. And the way that they shoehorned it in, because, well, Egon's dead. The guy that played Egon is dead. Bill Murray said he would never do another movie. And then there is that one scene. There's that one scene in the trailer where it's like, raise a cult. No, we're closed. And I'm like, that made me so happy. I have goosebumps. Great Outdoors. Yeah, kids today will just never know about the old 96. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to buy that. I've never seen Hall Pass. I will have to take your word for it. There's so many movies I haven't seen because, like, I guess what people think is funny these days does not, like so many people, the new Ghostbusters movie, that was great. And I was like, you talking about the unfunny fat chicks that were in that? That wasn't funny. Like the exact scene from movie to movie, if you watch movie comparisons, like when they're in the elevator and they turn on their proton packs, Blazing Saddles, another one. Great movie. When they turn on proton packs, there's not a big bunch of exposition. They turn it on. I was like, well, I blame myself for not testing this equipment. And you're like, so do we. He turns it on and everybody walks away. Hilarious. They didn't have to say anything. That woke garbage. That's what I was getting ready to say. All right, now I'm going to get upset. You guys ready? Kevin Smith took He-Man and completely fucking ruined it. And I'm like, if you like, why can't you just make, if you want to do this woke crap, do your own stuff and see how it pans out. You don't have to take something that everyone else enjoyed and ruin it to try and shoehorn it into some woke agenda. I don't agree with it. I'm not saying you can't have a woke agenda. Just stop screwing up the shit I enjoy. Because I was like, oh, they're going to re-release He-Man. And I watched like 2 minutes of it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this. Comedy back then in substance, it was performed better. Actors did right. And well, they didn't have an agenda that they had to try and shoehorn in. These, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna tell you, these athletes, the woke athletes, instead of focusing on what they were there for, which was to play a fucking sport, they decided to focus on making their own agenda. And instead of focusing on it, have you noticed that the athletes that were really patriotic about the stuff, that didn't give a crap about the whole political agenda, did way better? Well, because if your brain is focused on what you're going to do on the platform, you're never going to make it to the platform. Like, I'm going to make my shit on the platform. It's going to be this. No, guess what? I'm perfectly fine. I didn't care. Like, people are like, oh, did you hear that the women's soccer team lost? I'm like, really? Oh, wow. Anyway, Money Pit was good. Do you know my favorite movie? My favorite movie of all time. Gross Point Blank. Gross Point Blank is my favorite movie of all time. And you just mentioned one of my ones that's my second favorite, which is The Burbs. Tom Hanks in The Burbs. That is I have it on DVD. That is my go-to when I may have imbibed a little bit of the Jazz Cabbage. Do I watch the top chat or the live chat? I'm watching all of it, bro. It's all the chat. So Gross Point Blank. There you go. I'm sorry. Thank you. Gross Point Blank had an incredible soundtrack. You know what else? What's my favorite budget blade? Right now, my favorite budget blade for 2021. I actually put it away, but it is the Civivi Brazen. I did a video about it. That's not a comedy. Aiden, that's sad and depressing. We're talking about comedy. That's not comedy. That's like if you just want to cry. I don't want to watch that because I need a good cry. No, that's a depressing, sad movie. It really, really is. It's not funny at all. What was I talking? My favorite budget blade right now, my pick for the knife of 2021, budget or not, right now is the Civivi Brazen. And it is really, really good. It is great. That is a great knife. So right now, I'd have to say my favorite budget knife of 2021 is the Brazen. The Riffle came in. So it's the Brazen, the Kansup Cryo, and the Riffle. Right now, those are my three. If you're talking about just, no, I don't like this. Did you guys notice that the Civivi Button Lock Elementum didn't get a full review? I'm not doing it. Technically what they've done is they've made that knife illegal in California. That is technically a gravity knife, and I really don't feel comfortable doing it. So I don't want to do anything else about it because I don't want to kick it in my door and stuff. Because there is no other way to deploy it. It's just simply push the button. Like this has a flipper tab. The 14C. 14C is one of the best steels out there. Period. Cryo is good. Cryo, I'd have to say, is my second place. But if you're talking about like budget knives overall, I'd have to say the pick that I would make for the budget knife that I'm not letting myself carry that yet. So it's a toss up. I'm going to show you the toss up between the two. The budget knives. The budget knives that I think are like at the top of my list for budget knives that are great right now are CJRB Rhea, superb knife, and the QSP Penguin. This gets a lot of pocket time. Like, I know I don't talk. That is so aggressively sharp. I did put a black blade on mine. I put a black ceramic coating on mine because I just didn't want the D2 to rust. Both of these are great, great knives. This gets a lot of use. You can see there's a lot of scratching on the blade. Gets a lot of use. So good. And that D2 on this is so good. The Penguin is fantastic. And this one is in the denim micarta. Nothing but trouble. What did somebody say up here? Growing up watching movies like Rambo further got me into loving knives. I'll still emphasize the importance of a knife. I actually just rented, because I hadn't seen it in forever, I rented First Blood the other day. Big Trouble in Little China. I have that on DVD. I have a lot of stuff on physical medium that I watch. As a matter of fact, like I said, I watched Ghostbusters out here in the garage. You guys saw when we were moving. I don't know if you guys saw how much. I don't ceramic coat blades right now. But usually like $30 a part, like maybe $50 for the entire knife. Just depends. It is a pricey. It's a pricey thing to do because it is time consuming, and just the fact that the ceramic is expensive. It's like $60 a bottle to do the nano ceramic coating. And I can't do it here at the house. I have to take it up. I have to go up to Elliot's. I need to get a hold of Elliot to find out because, that's not good. You shouldn't drop knives on a glass table like that. Beardo wants me to try and do some anodizing on the titanium for this, and I do want to get it apart. So it just depends. Like, I don't know. I got to find out from Elliot when he's going to have his shop set up to the point that I can do it. I was thinking, yeah, I do ceramic coats. I'm just not doing it right now. I don't do it at home. I don't have the equipment for it. So yes, I do ceramic. There you go. Matt, I do ceramic coating on blades. I did this one. I've done a lot of blades for other people. I've done two tones and things like that. I just don't have it. I just don't have the stuff to do it here right now. And I just don't have a time frame when I'm going to be doing it. Can you watch Navy movies or do you pick them apart? It depends on the Navy movie. It really does. Sand Pebbles, really good movie. Can't pick it apart. World War II. Let's see. But like Pearl Harbor, it was fucking hot trash. It was garbage. Anything with Sean Connery. How can you not like him? I can tell you how you cannot like it. Go watch The Highlander, and then go watch The Highlander 2, The Quickening. No, I don't like that movie. It's just pretty fucking horrible. Down Periscope was hilarious. Actually, Down Periscope. Actually, no, I think Jeremy beat you. Jeremy, actually, 853 is up here at the top, like way up on the scroll up. He beat you. Down Periscope is probably much more of an accurate portrayal of the Navy than you would ever expect. It really, really is. It's terrifying. Like, you watch Down Periscope and you're like, I know those people. I want to see the new Top Gun. I like the first one. I had to stand up, guys. Barstool was hurting my bottom. I'm getting old. Gonna get piles. I am interested to see the new Top Gun. I really am. It's probably a better idea. I've been drinking. I was drinking during Jared's live feed. And I was like, how much you gonna drink? And I was like, I don't know. Yes. How much do I have left? Neener. I had exactly 3 shots left in this bottle. And this isn't the one we had the other night. This was another one that was on the shelf. And I was like, I threw the bottle away and I was like, oh, I didn't get any. I was like, what is that? And I was looking behind the coffee in the pantry. I was like, did I not finish a bottle of the Irish apple juice? That is out of character for me. What beer do I drink? Yes. I drink beer. You're absolutely right. I drink beer. In case you don't know, that means I will drink almost any beer that's out there. And what's my favorite beer? You guys know this. What's my favorite beer? Let's see who answers first. Let's see who knows me this. What is my favorite brand of beer? Wait, Nate leaving? Free. Jeremy got it. Free. That is my favorite brand. My second favorite is Cold. And my third favorite is any combination of the previous 2. Actually, though, if I had to pick a beer that I would say would be the beer that I would live with the rest of my life, if I could only have one beer for the rest of my life, it would be, it is called Victoria. It's a Mexican beer. It is amazingly good. Super, super good. Can you guys see the scrolling across the bottom where it says that you have entered an area of complete time wasting and 0 seriousness? I just want to make sure that I didn't go to all the trouble of figuring out how that worked and then you guys couldn't see it. I don't know if it's Victoria Special, but it's really good. I love Guinness too. Guinness is really good. What is that? That's just a channel warning so that you guys know where you're at. I just decided I would have a disclaimer at the bottom, so you didn't think you were spending. I'm not talking about Victoria Bitter. I've had that. It's not a little Spyderco. It's absolutely not a Spyderco because you guys know me. I wouldn't buy a Spyderco. It's a Cold Steel. It's a Cold Steel Mini Pal. Will I design a folder? Probably not. I don't like the idea of all the work that would go into designing a folder. They are nightmarish, the math and all the offsets and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. I've said it before. Everybody's like, when are you going to make a folder? I'm like, probably never. I may ask somebody if they want to take a shot at making one of my knives into a folder, but I'm probably not going to do it. And the reason is because I enjoy making knives. They're fun. When you have to start figuring out all the little intricate details of what happens inside a folder and how to build a folder, figure out the offset for the pockets and the lock bar and where the pivot has to be for the action to actually swing out properly. You know what? That all sounds like not fun. So I prefer to continue to have fun. There you go. I mean, I said it, a fixed blade only has to look straight. A folding knife absolutely has to be straight. There's a big difference there. So, well, what time is it? Let me look at this. It's 9 o'clock. How about we just do a couple final things? Anybody got anything they want to talk about for the next couple minutes, and then we're going to end this. We'll end it right at 9 my time, an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, I need to be, because I got news for you. I can't. I was, if I was an engineer or an architect, you would have a lot of buildings that had crooked doorways and nothing was straight. And people were like, why does everything roll off my counter? So I don't think that's a good idea. Mini sea snake. No, I would not do a mini sea snake. I wouldn't want that knife any smaller. It just, I don't think. Are you talking about a mini stonefish? I have thought about doing a mini stonefish, mini sea snake. The mini sea snake is, well, it's already a mini. I would think about doing a bigger sea snake. But I definitely don't think. Ooh, I'm sleepy, guys. I really am, in general. I mean, Elliot does a really good job of it. These guys do a really good job of it. When I get money, would you sell me one of your sea snakes, Mike? Well, when you get money, you could just go to the affiliate link down below and buy one of the ones that I have made. Because, I mean, unless you're talking about me making you a sea snake, I would have to get the money and stuff. But I can make you one, but I don't think anything I would make is going to be much better than the I definitely smell somebody sparking up something. I can smell it. It smells like skunk, but I don't think anybody hit a skunk. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, I get the off grid knives. I don't think I've gotten to see them. I've seen some pictures, but I haven't ever gotten to see one in hand. No, they're not sold out. The Amazon link, if you go down into the description below, there's an Amazon affiliate link that takes you to there. They're not expensive. They're like $40. Jazzy Capology. Yeah, someone may be into the glass saxophone, which there's a chance I may get into the glass saxophone. I have not decided yet what this evening will lead to. We shall see. We shall see. I got a lot of stuff done today. But have a good night, Jeevens addicts. Wait, what? Oh, hey. Somebody leave? Is he leaving? What was this? Frog story. You're going to have to go back. I'm not telling it twice. I don't tell the same story twice. I will tell you that one time I was hanging out with the same group of guys, though. And we were out after curfew. And I had already gotten in trouble. This was after the bullfrog incident. So you can tell I didn't learn my lessons very well. This will be one of the last stories we tell. And so we were out after curfew and we're running around. And I've got plenty of stories. I got plenty of stories, Cue Ball. We could probably tell stories 2 a night for the rest of human existence and not run into this problem. So at any rate, we're out and we're running around. The cops see us because we're out of curfew and we all run. And at the time, when I came out of elementary school into junior high, I was a short, fat kid and I couldn't keep up. And so all these guys, they took off running. These guys were in much better shape than me. I was a short, fat kid at the time. And I literally was the shortest kid in my class. I was fat. Now I'm like 6'3", and I'm still fat. Well, I'm fat now, but there's a lot of, any rate. So they take off running. I take off running, and the cops fucking beat it in my, because I'm the short, fat kid and I can't run as fast. And so I hid in a parking lot underneath some stuff, and I saw them take off, and then I took off again, and they saw me, and I ran, and I dove behind some bushes at the pizza parlor in this town. They actually had a little pizza parlor, Village Pizza. And this guy gets out of the car and he goes, well, I know he's over here. I saw him running, da 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 da. And then I heard a sound that made me come out of the bushes with my hands up. So if you guys don't know what this sound is, go to someone's house that owns a pump action shotgun and have them just rack it once, because that sound will make you come out of the bushes with your hands up going, I'm right here. I'm right here. Put that shit away. Put that shit away. That's a sound that everybody's like, why do cops carry guns? That's why. You pull a 12 gauge shotgun out of the rack in a vehicle and rack it once, And anyone that has half a brain in their head is going to tell you, like, I'm over here. I'm over here. Can we, like, how do you want? You want behind? You want my thumbs up near my shoulder blades? You want my hands up and you can work them down? How do you want to do this? Because I'm coming out of the bushes with my hands up to be cuffed. How do you want to do it? Matt, I don't even know what's going on, but you take it easy. And international, don't fuck with me sound. Now, I was in the military and worked weapons long enough. I can tell now that a Remington 870, I can tell you the difference between it going shut on an empty chamber and it going shut on a full chamber. I can tell whether you've actually racked around by the way it sounds, which is it comes from practice. Like, there's no round in that. I'll show you what I will show you something that I carry, and people are like, oh my God, that's so aggressive. I'm going to tell you why. I got some of these, and it has nothing to do with everybody's like, oh, that is the worst rounds possible. Those are so aggressive. It's not. Do you know what this does? This opens up and it completely disintegrates in the target. There's no over penetration, much more chance of stopping. I also have Glazer safety slugs, which are shot in a gel with a big shot ball in front inside a brass cap. It distributes all its energy really quickly, so it's not going to over penetrate. These are actually very, very good rounds for home defense. They're not what everyone seems to think they are. Like, oh my God, that's like artillery rounds for your hand. No, it's not. That's going to dump all of its energy in just the first few inches. It's not going to over penetrate. And to tell you the truth, it's going to stop the perpetrator, but it has a much less chance of doing the kind of damage that is going to be irreparable. There's a much better chance that person is going to survive, because what it is, it's like getting hit in the chest with something that's this big versus something that's this big, which is going to punch all the way through. This has much more chance of dumping all that energy rapidly, stopping the incident much faster. It just makes sense. Less chance of overprotection or penetration. Yeah, exactly. So you bet you definitely can get away with, like I have a 44 Magnum, and I like to joke. I'm like, well, why do you have that? And I was like, well, that's in case the bad guy's behind the refrigerator at the neighbor's house. But these are really good. These are really good. So you don't have over penetration, less chance of over penetration, like Mark said. That's why everybody's like, oh, what do you have in your shotgun? I'm like, I have number 4 buckshot. And I'm like, oh, well, that's really stop. I'm like, well, I got news for you. Number 4 buckshot won't go through drywall into my daughter's room. Number 4 buckshot will still stop you dead as a hammer, but it's not going to over penetrate and go through drywall and then lath and then another drywall. It's just not going to. And that's why I use number 4 buckshot. It's going to take what's inside of you and put it on the outside. It's just not going to take what's inside of you, put it on the outside, and then hurt anything behind you. I don't give a crap about the person. 5-7 got negative stigma because I suppose it. Plus P. Plus P, a lot of times plus P rounds. Like, if you're using for home defense, why are you going to use plus P? I'm not trying to shoot at a long distance. You use slugs. You're a bad ghost. You're a very bad ghost. There are no innocent bystanders, only undeserving victims. Casper, you probably heard that before. That's a phrase that is common. That's a fucking horrible thing to say, but it's a phrase that's common in certain circles. I'm pretty sure Casper's heard it. He's like, I've heard that before. Another story? Let me see. What story do I want to tell you guys in a closing story? Okay. Rock salt. Rock salt hurts, but it's not going to fucking stop me. I'll just get mad. Let me think. Another story. Okay. This one's horrible. And it might not be, we're going to have to be careful on how we'll have to play this one by ear. I may get some nasty comments from YouTube. Okay, there's three stories that I have, and I'm trying to think of the one that I want to tell. So we were in Thailand, and I was hanging out with these two dudes, and one of them name was Brody, and the other name was Ty. And these guys always hung out, and these guys, I don't know how they never failed a urinalysis, but these guys were always smoking jazz cabbage, constantly, like always. And so I was hanging out with these guys, and we'd been drinking. So we're in Thailand, and we had decided when we decided we were gonna hang out for this trip, I told him, I was like, yeah, we can't do anything. We got to hang out so we can get hotel rooms, all that stuff. It was like, but we had decided we were going to go on this jungle tour that was set up by MWR, Morale, Welfare, Recreation. MWR set this up. We paid for this tour, and then we were going to meet up outside of their hotel. My hotel was right across the street. And so we went out for a little bit, and we've been drinking, but I knew that we were going to go to the jungle on this tour van thing through the rainforest. And I was like, I don't want to get too drunk. So at like 9 o'clock at night, we were like, yeah, we should probably get ready. And they're like, cool, man, we're going to go back to the room. And I was like, I don't want to know. I don't know what you guys are doing, because I'm a senior guy. I'm senior to you. And if you tell me what you're doing, I have to tell somebody else. So just keep that shit to yourself. Don't tell me that you can go back to the room. And I don't care. Like, just keep it to yourself. And so I went back, and I was like, so I get back to my hotel. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I had a couple drinks. Anyone named Brody, right? So I'm in my hotel. I'm in the lobby bar. I had a couple drinks. I went and I used the steam room and just cooled. It was fun. I just enjoyed it. I had a couple drinks, went to the hot tub and the steam room. I got to bed like probably about midnight. And we're supposed to meet in front of these guys, Ty and Brody's hotel. That's where the van was going to come pick us up. So I go out, and I get up the next morning. I feel great. Like I had a couple drinks, and I slept, and I was like, I don't want to have this. It's just the middle of my trip in Thailand. I just didn't want to have a hangover for one day. So I decided we'd do this tour. And so I get down there, and the tour bus is there, and everybody's like, where are these two guys at? And I'm like, well, this is their hotel. And I know where the room is. Let me go up and check on them. And so I went in. I was like, hey, did these guys, because they were going to check out and have their bags in the front, and they were going to keep them in the front. And then they were going to go back to the ship that night because they had duty the next day, that evening. And so I was like, all right, let me go check on them. So I go up to the room. Now this was in Pattaya. This is a different part of Thailand. And so the hotels, they tell you, it's like, oh, we have all these monkeys that are all over the grounds, and they'll come up in your room, but you're just like, they won't hurt you. If you give them food, they'll just run away. And I was like, so I go up and I knock on the door, and Brody comes to the door, and he's like, hey, what's up, guns? What's up, guns? And he's got a towel on. He's taking a shower, and Ty is already dressed, and he's standing there. He's like, hey. And I'm like, and on the floor, I see Monkey. And I was like, oh, you guys got a stuffed monkey. And I was like, wait. And I looked, I was like, why do you have two stuffed? Those aren't stuffed monkeys. And I realized they're dead monkeys. And I'm like, what the fuck did you two degenerates do to these monkeys? And all these things that are happening in my head, like, I don't really want to know, but this is what's going on in my head. Like, they fucked the monkeys, they killed the monkeys. I don't fucking know what's going on. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? It was like, well, man, we came back to the room. I was like, I don't want to know. I said, but tell me about the monkeys. He's like, oh, so we're out on a balcony, right? And the monkeys are coming up, and we're like, well, we'll feed the monkeys. And Ty was like, I wonder what will happen if I punch a monkey in the head. He's like, so, I was like, don't tell me about what you've been smoking, because then I'm going to have to tell somebody, because technically I'm your boss. I'm like, don't tell me. I said, but what about the monkeys? Oh, yeah, so we're feeding the monkeys. And Ty was like, I wonder what will happen if I just punch a monkey. So he punched the monkey in the head, and the fucking monkey died. And we were like, oh, shit. But then, like, we drugged the monkey, and we were like, oh, I wonder if they'll come back. And so we did it again. And I'm like, and I was like, So we did it a few times. Now we got there's like 4 dead monkeys in our hotel room. And I was like, this isn't like you took something out of the mini bar and you can hide it. You got like 4 dead fucking monkeys in your hotel room. And they were like, yeah, that's why we didn't come down yet. We're trying to figure out what to do with the monkeys. And I was like, I'm going to go down and I'm going to get on a bus and I'm going to tell them to fucking leave. And you guys can figure out the whole dead monkey situation on your fucking own. You weirdos. And I get on the bus and they're like, what about these other 2 guys? Like, yeah, they're not fucking coming. Let's go. And they're like, but we have to. I was like, they're not coming. Let's go. We left. I got back to the ship and I was like, how did you guys check out? They're like, oh man, we hid him in the closet. And I'm like, so you know that next day, someone checked into the hotel room, opened the closet to put their bags and their clothes, probably some family on a vacation at this resort town. And there was 4 dead monkeys in that closet. Yeah. So there you go. There's your story. I have several other stories. You just picture there's like, you was like, what's that smell? Something in this room smells. I can't figure out. Oh my God, there's dead monkeys in the closet. I honestly thought that they had stuffed. I thought they had went out and bought stuffed monkeys. I honestly thought that until I looked at him real close and I was like, that's an actual monkey. That's a dead monkey. I honestly thought that I was like, I don't know what I thought. My first thought in my head was these 2 idiots, they were having sex with the monkeys. And I'm like, great. Now they have monkey AIDS. That's probably airborne. They're going to take it back to the ship. God, my live streams are always so far off from my script of it. Like at least when Jared does a live feed, at least he stays to the base content, like knives. When I do a live feed, good luck. Buckle up. You're in for a ride. Which is why I like doing the live feeds, because they're so much different than the. If you guys watch, like, some people like just the edited content. Monkey punches, monkey punching. Oh no, I missed it. Monkey punching. To be honest, that sounds like hilarious. I don't know. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see fist, monkey die. But it's like I way out of left field, right? So that's why I like doing the live feeds, because they're so much fun, because it basically how a live feed ends up going is determined by you guys. It has nothing to do with, we don't try to stick to a thing. Monkey punching, cow tipping, where is just as bad. What? I can't, the font on it's really small. I don't have my reading glasses. Guys, I don't know if you saw the other day, I did a video. I don't know if it's one up yet. I had my reading glasses on. We're just as bad. We ain't no angels, full on demons. Next door people were thinking, no, here's the whole thing. Like those hotels, they were just full of Navy guys. I'll tell you one more and then we'll go. Okay, this is the Humpday live stream. It's only 9:15. If I can get this done in 5 minutes, I still tell my daughter goodnight. So we were in Thailand. Favorite D2 knife, I'd have to say it's probably a QSP Penguin or the Centros by. I'll grab it. We can do both. I can get this done quick. The Centros by CJRB or the QSP Penguin. Those in D2, I'd say those are my 2 favorites. If anything, I'd say this one is probably my favorite. I love this knife by Dylan. Okay, so anyway, here we go. So in Thailand, at the time, it was not frowned upon to go to a house of ill repute and purchase a female's companionship for a few days. And we did that quite often. And a lot of times it wasn't just about the having sex thing. It was a lot of times they were very good tour guides. There was a couple times that we did this after I got married, where I was like, you take us around town, not at all going to try and do anything. We're just going to hang out and go around town, and you can take me around and I'll buy you food. You just give me the tour of the city. So at any rate, but this time that wasn't the case because I was very young and I wasn't married and I had not even met my wife yet. And so we were there and we were in Patty Beach Town. And we had these hotel rooms that were, the balconies were right above the pool. And it's me and a couple of my friends and a couple of Marines. And we're drinking and we have these girls that we had given money for their time to spend and hang out with us, if you get where I'm going with that. And so we were there and we started doing this thing. Like they were cool. It was their idea. We started throwing them off the balcony into the pool. And the first few times it was okay. It was cool. Like the first few, because there was a handful of these girls and we're throwing them off the balcony into the pool, but then they would come back up the steps and back into the hotel room. And then they were slippery because they were wet. And there was a couple of them that almost didn't make the distance. And so I'm down in this room and we're throwing these girls off. Yeah, they were employed. We're throwing them off the balcony into the pool. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, you fucking idiots. And I'm like, uh-oh, I recognize that voice. That's my boss. And he comes down, he knocks on the door. He's like, open the fucking door. And open the door. He's like, what are you idiots doing? And I was like, throwing the girls off the pool throwing the girls off the balcony of the pool. He's like, you guys are on the 3rd floor and you're throwing these girls in the pool. He's like, the last 2 almost didn't make it. They almost hit the concrete. He's like, don't do it again, because if you get in trouble, I'm going to have to answer questions because I'm staying in the same hotel. And so we're like, all right. So we all go down, we get in the pool, and this same chief that was really worried about getting in trouble for all that, we're like, hey, chief, throw me a beer. And this dude is like throwing like a football, full bottles of beer into the pool. And he wasn't throwing them into the pool. He was throwing them at us. And I'm like, weren't you the one that was really concerned a little bit about somebody getting hurt and you having to answer questions, but you're trying to kill us with beer bottles? That's how I lived my life in my 20s. I'm sorry, guys. That's how it was. Guys, I love you all. We made the cut. I still have time to tell my daughter goodnight. I love you all. This is Dorkle McDingleberry signing off. I love you all. Take it easy. We'll come up with some other clever name. And we'll put, God damn it, that reverse thing. We'll put it down here. Next time, we'll figure out what my name's going to be for the next one. Who knows? I love you guys. Take it easy. If you feel like dropping a super chat, drop a super chat. If you feel like joining the membership, I've got giveaway stuff going on. Affiliate links are all down below. I love you guys. Take it easy. What was that? I just saw something. Enjoyable. Todd Carr. Enjoyable. I mean, hey, what else do I need? Enjoyable right there. Guys, love you all. Take it easy. I'll see you next time. How do I end this? This isn't like on my phone where there's just an end button. I have to find the thing. Later, dudes. End broadcast. I found it. I'll see you guys next time. Oh, end broadcast. Not yet, or end broadcast. They're like, are you sure you want to end the broadcast? Yes, I'm sure. I'll see you guys. Probably tomorrow at 4 p.m. Maybe in the morning. Who knows?